don't know if I should be here. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But the funny thing was, I guess I went home and started studying accents because that's what I do. I just went back and I was like, okay, I've got to start watching actors and I've got to start working on this English accent. And so I started watching different things on YouTube, and one of the actors that I watched was Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy did this interview, and he was the guy who kept going, so Tom, tell me about this, and what do you think of this, and you're doing this, and he's like, yes, darling, yo, darling, this is what I think. And that's where darling came from, because that was never Cole's thing. I just added that because I kept listening to Tom Hardy, and he always said darling. And the first time I did it with Damon, he was on the floor, and I just wanted to insult him, because I thought, I want to make you feel like a girl, because I'm standing here, and you're down there, darling. And I said it, and it was so good because they kept it, and I really liked that because it added a little bit of personality to Cole. And then they started using it more, and every now and then I'd throw it in. But that's sort of how it sort of developed, so you kind of create your own little thing. But that was the English accent, and I'm sorry if I'm horrible at it, but I tried my best. And if you can do a better job, I'd love to see it. I'm only playing, but I do love accents. One thing I regret now, in answer to your question, all the accents are very, very different, but I think that's fine. But I wish I had made Cole's accent different now in hindsight. Like, I would have loved to have made him, because they actually asked me to make him quite proper. So he was like, I'm Cole Michelson, and I've got a very proper English accent. But I really, really wish I had made him like dirty streets of London, like, hello, Elena. Long time, brother. Hello. Hello, darling. Hey, geezer. How are you, geezer? I just wish I made him really filthy London. I regret it. I really do regret it, because it would have just been so much more fun being like dirty Cole. Hello. Oh, what you mean? Hello, governor. Oh, whatever. Get into ya. I'm a rock star, guys. This is what happens. This is the rock star treatment. Yo, thank you.
All of the rest of our Ians, come on up.
Leave.
All of our Ians. This gentleman right here has a question.
I want these two rows to stand up and walk out and never come back. You get that power. Get up.
I didn't record it last time, but I regretted it because he was missing and came in.
I'm terrible. Okay. Silas. Oh yeah, he would imagine if he was my doppelganger. I'm Silas. I would have made him weird though. I reckon it would have been so funny if he was like, I'm Silas. Where's Elena? I'm looking for Elena. I'm Silas. Kiss my hand. I'm Silas. I am the greatest, most dangerous man of all time.
Are you doing an impression of me now, mate?
What's that?
Are you doing an impression of me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was doing an impression of you and I have to kick. Yo, what's up?
So, who's your favorite person to work with on set and why?
You can just create so much dramatic pause, it's fun. My favorite person to work on set is... I love working with two people, Joseph Morgan and Daniel Gillies. I love them. And it's not because they're my brothers, it's because they're the best actors. They are. I love them. I love them. I think they're the most talented actors in the world, and I'll go on record for saying it.
No, I think it was YouTube pictures.
Everyone else is good actors. I just love them. I love Daniel Gillies' performance. Who saw the last episode of Originals? How good is he? Like, I was watching and obviously I know Daniel well, but I get sucked into the story myself and I forget that I'm watching him. He's so good. And I think he's amazing. And I really hope I do get an opportunity to work with him one day in the future. If it's not Original, something else. Any other questions? Let's get deep. Let's get meaningful. Because I might tell my story about fate tomorrow in my Q&A. Nah, it's a really good story and I want to save it for tomorrow.
We'll do another question, but do we have a last call for Ian? Last call.
Last call for Ian Somerhalder. We're now boarding with the Ian Somerhalder Airlines. Last call. This is your final boarding call for Ian Somerhalder.
Whatever.
Hi, Nathaniel.
Hey.
Dead or alive, who would you spend one dinner with, and what would you talk about?
I mean, that's easy.
I'm finna beat my kid with my cane, okay?
Who?
Pretend you didn't see anything.
Alright, I will. I didn't see anything.
Oh, well, I'm very faith-driven, and this is going to be like, oh, cliche name. But I would really like to meet Jesus. 100%. Only because, like, this is my life, and faith is everything to me, and it's really my foundation, it's my cornerstone, it's the reason I am the person I am today, and it really does dictate how I interact with the world, you know, and it's super, super important to me. But I actually am just so inspired by his teachings, and you know, even if you don't believe in God, if you just follow his teachings and what he talks about in the Bible, your life will be easier to get through. You know, your struggles will be a lot less, because it actually teaches you how to get through this world. And he never said that life was going to be easy. He never said that if you believe in me, everything is going to be perfect and rosy, because that's not what life is about. And every single person in this room has a problem today. Every single one of you is going through some sort of struggle in your life, or whether you've overcome it or you're about to come into some sort of struggle. We all go through it. That's just life. That's like a huge component of life, and it's just like one of those things, like not everything can be perfect, so you're going to go walk through days of darkness. And what he talked about in his teachings prepares you for that so well, and it actually teaches you how to deal with the worst case scenario every single time. And it talks about things about like greed and selfishness and money, and how you should love your neighbor, and how by doing those things you're actually protecting your own soul. You know, a lot of people think that what he taught was like rules, or I can't do this and I shouldn't do this and I'm not allowed to do this. But what he was actually saying is you can do that, but it'll be a darker road, and you're going to get to a point in that, whatever you're doing, where you're going to feel empty, and you're going to wonder why. You know, it's like money, for example. We live in a society that is constantly convincing us that we need money, and money is the key, and money will make us happy, and the better the car, the more happy you'll be, or the bigger the house, and the better you'll be. And then you'll see these people, and they'll get all those things, and all of a sudden they'll realize all the promises that money made, it didn't live up to a single one of them, and you will still feel an emptiness. So you keep searching, and you keep searching, and you keep searching, and then you realize it's just like, what is it? You know? So it's like a funny thing, because I'm very anti the way the world teaches us, and I'm very against how we, you know, materialistic and selfish we're becoming as a society, and it's something that I want to change in myself. And everything that I do is from his teachings. And a lot of people go, oh, you're such an inspiration on Twitter. And you know, I do really like a good quote, and I love to come up with quotes. And a lot of people are like, where did you come up with this? And everything that I quote on Twitter is from my own life. And it's generally meaning that I've gone through that experience in that very, very moment. And I've had some sort of inspiration, or I've had a moment, you know, I pray a lot. And all of a sudden I've got the wisdom how to overcome my own problem, and that's why I tweet those things. Because I'm like, if I'm going through it, someone else might be going through it, and hopefully what I learned from my own situations can help someone else get through something else. And that's been really, really encouraging for me. You know, often I'll tweet something, and it's funny, I'll tweet something that's very like, and I make it very broad and very general, because it has to fit into like everybody's world. But it's amazing when you tweet something and you get responses back saying, hey, thank you so much, I'm going through this thing right now and I needed that today. And then what you realize is that we're all so relatable as people, you know. And the most important thing that you will ever have in this world isn't money, isn't fame, isn't, you know, wealth or material things. It's actually the interactions you have with people. That's all that life is. If you really look at life on the most basic level, all it is the interactions you have with one another. And everything we do outside of that is to improve our interactions, you know. And if I even looked at acting as a profession, I mean, I love to act. I absolutely love to act, and I love to tell stories. But I can even look at it ultimately like me being an actor puts me on some sort of social level where people respect me more, so my interactions are better with people. You know what I mean? It breaks it down to that. So when you start thinking about that sort of stuff, you kind of start realizing, okay, how am I interacting with the world? Like, how am I really interacting with people? And it's not family, it goes to everyone, like strangers, you know, and it's so easy to like get consumed in your own world. But when you actually open yourself up and start actually creating better interactions, you start being a bigger light and you start attracting greater things to you. You know, and it's been really interesting because I wasn't always a believer, you know, and my life changed drastically when I got Vampire Diaries, because
They're still sitting there, right?
I was saying, I was about to give up. I was done, and you know, I was like, I almost said to God, I was like, why do you make me get so close to jobs and then take them away from me? Why do I have to struggle so much in life? Why did I have to be the kid that didn't have a dad? Why did I have to be the kid that, you know, had a parent that couldn't afford anything and we had to struggle for everything we got? You know, and then when I got Vampire Diaries, I got taken to Atlanta, and 3 years earlier, and I know some people probably heard this story, and I'm sorry if I'm telling it again, but 3 years earlier, I was with a friend of mine. We were snowboarding in Australia, and he was like, he's a Christian, and he's like, do you mind if we put on a Christian DVD? And I was like, no, ugh, yuck, no thank you. I didn't want to watch it. But eventually he convinced me, and he's like, you'll really like it. The guy's called Lou Giglio, and he's, you know, he's just going to talk about the universe. And I watched this DVD, and I was like literally sitting in the car, and the DVD was on, and I was just like not paying attention, not interested. But then as this guy was talking, everything started to make sense, what he was saying. It was really, really engaging. And then I started paying attention. I was like this. And then by the end of it, I was like, can we watch another one? Can we watch another one? And we ended up watching like 4 DVDs before we got home. Now what was really cool about that was when I got Vampire Diaries, I thought it was all about my career. And I was like, this is finally the moment where I'm going to get something where I can start moving forward with this career in the States. And I can continue what I want to do, me as an actor. So I get to Atlanta, and I'm on Facebook one night. I'm in my hotel room. I don't know anybody in Atlanta, obviously. And my buddy, who I haven't spoke to for years, because it's been 3 years since we watched those DVDs, messages me on Facebook. He's like, hey man, what are you up to? I was like, I'm in Atlanta. I got this job on Vampire Diaries. It's amazing. And then he's like, you should go to the church of the guy that we watched those DVDs of. He's got a church in Atlanta. And I was like, nah, if it's close, still anti. And then I looked it up, and it was like 10 minutes from my hotel. So I went, and it was incredible. The guy was incredible. He's this amazing speaker, and all he preaches about is love, you know? And eventually what happened was Vampire Diaries brought me back for more episodes. So I went home for Christmas, and I met all these awesome people at this church. They're like, you have to come to this conference called Passion Conference, which is this amazing thing where 65,000 young people that go to different colleges around the US all come together for this Christian conference, and they just have this awesome experience. And they said, you got to come. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to, because I don't decide when I come to Atlanta. Vampire Diaries does, and I don't know when I'm going to be coming back. So anyway, it's Christmas time, 2012 going to 2013, and I get a phone call from Vampire Diaries. They're like, hey, you've got some more episodes. We need you to come back on the 1st of January, which is the exact same time as this conference started. And I was like, that's cool, but unfortunately I'm going to be working, so I couldn't really go. So I get into Atlanta, and then Vampire Diaries say, whoops, we brought you in a week early. You're going to have to just sit around and do nothing. Really? Really? So I go to this conference, and this guy, Lou Giglio, is speaking on the last day. And his message was essentially this. And there was 65,000 people there, but it was like he was just talking to me. He said, everyone has passions in life. And passion is so, so important. But what's your purpose? What is your purpose in life? And there's a big difference between passion and purpose. And for me, you know, everything was always about me. I want to be an actor. I want to be successful. I want to do this. It was all about my goals. And then he was like, essentially his message was, what comes first in your life? Because that's your purpose. And I didn't really have one. And my purpose was pretty lame if it was just about me. And his message was just essentially like, God should always come first. And it was like what Jesus said. There's 2 great commandments. He said, just follow 2 things. First commandment, love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. Second commandment, love your neighbor. And it's interesting because the first commandment is God. And that's what it was to me. It was like, put God first. So I made that choice that night. That I was like, this is not about me anymore. And if I'm going to go further with this career, it's always going to be God first. Not me, not my acting, not something else, not something for self. It's going to be something for God. So I literally went home that night, changed my Twitter. Used to be like actor/social drinker, which was true. And I just put following Jesus, And and this message isn't trying to convince you guys to be religious, because it's not about that. This message is saying, take a stand for what you believe in, no matter what anyone's going to say, no matter what society's going to tell you to do. Because I can tell you right now, when I made that choice, I was scared, because I was like, man, if I do this, I'm really choosing a side. I'm not sitting on a fence anymore. I'm going, this is who I am. And I thought, I'm going to have no followers on Twitter, because everyone's going to be like, I'm not going to follow that guy. That's going to make me look like the awkward one, But then all of a sudden, I took real courage from the fact that I don't care what people think anymore. Like, that's what I believe in. And I'm so proud of it. And if you can't be proud of what you believe in, then what do you believe in? It's so important, especially in this young generation, to stick to what you believe in and to hold on to it. Don't let anybody push you around, or don't follow a crowd just because they say this is the right way to do it, because it's not the way it is. You should always follow your heart, and that's a huge thing. And that's what, if I could say, take anything from my message, is be bold, be brave, and really do what you believe in, not what someone else believes in. And don't worry about the judgment of others, because what I've learned from all this is that you're going to get judged whether you choose to sit on the fence or you choose to go on one of the sides. We're a judgmental society. I'm getting judged right now. Someone's like, I love that he's so open about his faith. Someone's like, oh, shut up. Talk about Vampire Diaries. But do you know what I mean? So if you're going to get judged either way, you might as well get judged for what you believe in first. So it was a really special thing for me, Vampire Diaries, because it put me on this course where I feel like I was supposed to be. Here's a really cool story, and I'm a big person about fate, and I'm going to talk about fate tomorrow in my little Q&A, because I had this really, really awesome experience in Budapest, which was really, really fun, but I'll tell you the story tomorrow. Anyway, so here's a bit of a fate moment. So who believes in fate here? Who doesn't believe in fate? Because I'm more interested in those people. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to talk straight. You definitely don't believe in fate. I know you. Okay, so I really wanted to meet this guy, Lou Giglio, and I made this tweet not too long ago, and I love it. It's like probably my favorite tweet, and I shouldn't talk myself up, but sometimes you should. Jared Leto would. So I wrote this tweet, and I said, the universe will always find a way if you find a cause. And I truly believe that. And so many parts of my life, like example 1, I came from such a poor family, and the school that I went to, I remember saying, well, they asked me, what do you want to be when you finish school, Nathaniel? It was like the last day of high school. And I was like, well, I want to be an actor and I want to work in Hollywood. And everybody laughed, because it was so ridiculous. Like the idea of someone from my school actually getting on any sort of TV show in the States was so foreign that it was laughable. Yet the guy next to me goes, I want to go to prison. Everyone's like, oh, yeah. You get pretty close, Mohammed. Anyway, so for me, even to be an actor was like a huge thing. But so anyway, this story. So I really wanted to meet this guy, Lou Giglio. And that's what I wanted. That was my cause. I was like, I have to meet this guy because he's changed my life. And he's so inspirational. And it's like one of those things when, when you see someone, you're like, I just want to tell them and I want to thank them for changing my life.